Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be my response video to a black boxed bronze and a silver and bronze challenge. Basically, he put a challenge out. I guess it was Alex the Comic Book Hoarder that originally started the challenge, but Black Boxed Silver and Bronze put a challenge out to me to do a video where you show all your slabs from point one, or point one is the lowest CGC grade, all the way up to 10 if you have it. So basically, what grades do you have in between those things, and show one comic for each grade. So I don't actually have any point ones, which for those people who are not familiar with the grading system, point one is when CGC or one of the grading companies see a page. It's literally a page from a comic. And I do have actually pages from comics, but they're not graded. And basically a point one is like, I've seen actually some really expensive point ones where it's like a Batman, like number one, and it's a page from Batman number one, and it sells for a couple $1,000s. So, it's one of those things where people do collect those individual pages, but I just don't have any graded in my collection. So the first grade that I do have is the next lowest grade. Actually, there's a 0.3, which is a coverless comic, which I don't have as well. So the lowest two grades I don't have. So 0.3 I don't have as well. But the next lowest is a 0.5. And a 0.5 is when the comic is incomplete. Or sometimes it can be complete, but just really, 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 really rough grade, like really in bad shape. This is one of those cases where it's just incomplete. It's missing the centerfold. So just one of my favorite comics. Actually, funny thing is, this is the most expensive comic on the list that I'm going to be showing, and it's the lowest grade. So, and I actually believe the highest grade on this list is the cheapest comic on the list. So it's kind of funny how that works. But this is Sensation Comics #1. This is the first cover appearance of Wonder Woman. It's the first appearance of Mr. Terrific. It's the first appearance of Wildcat. It is just a great comic to have. It's also Wonder Woman's second appearance. So just a really great book overall. And I just love it. So it's one of my favorite books, actually. Okay, so that's the lowest grade. Next lowest grade is a 1.0, and this is another pretty expensive book in my list. This is More Fun Comics 55, and this is the first appearance of Dr. Fate. And it's just a really great Golden Age book from 1940. You can see the back. There, I try to show it without reflecting. So just a really great Golden Age book. And it's in low grade. It's a 1.0. It's really rough. The next lowest grade is a 1.5. And here's my 1.5. It's a Green Lantern #1 from the Silver Age. And this is a really great comic. Another comic that I really like, actually. I really enjoy Green Lantern. I think Green Lantern's a really great character. I just like the idea that it's really up to your own imagination what you can generate with the ring, and I like the power of the will and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of cool. So Green Lantern #1 from 1960. I'll show you the back as well. So yeah. Okay, so that's the 1.5. The next grade is a 1.8, and a 1.8 is usually pretty rough as well. Like usually either the cover's detached or something wrong with it. So this is this one has just a really rough spine, and it has somebody wrote on the face, which is kind of sad. But this is Fighting Yank 23, and this is just a really great hooded cover comic. Just you see the hero in the background, and it's Alex Schomburg as well. Typical Alex Schomburg situation where you got the hero in the background, girl in the foreground, and she's wearing a red dress, and she's in some serious trouble because she's surrounded by hooded figures that are basically holding her down, not holding her down, but holding her, and she's going to get bitten possibly from this snake, cobra. So yeah, just a really great 1948 Fighting Yank number 23. That's a CBS. That's the one. I think that's the only CBCS comic in this that I'm going to be showing. Most of them are CGC. I try to keep it mostly CGC. I have like pretty much all the grades in in other grading companies, but I figured I'd show mostly CGC. So this is Fantastic Four number 6 in a 2-0. And this is the first crossover between Doctor Doom and Submariner. And not crossover, I should say team up. And it's just a great Stan Lee story from 1962. Really great. And you can get cards on the back. Okay, so 2-0. Next one in a 2-5. So 2-5 is getting a little bit better. Is Weird Mysteries. This is a Bailey cover, I believe. Yeah, Bernard Bailey. Just a really great Golden Age horror cover artist. And it's got lots of skulls and stuff. And this is from 1953. And a lot of people collect Bernard Bailey. So he's just another one of those Golden Age artists that people really love. So I think he's really great. This one was actually mentioned in the Seduction of the Innocent. I forget the reason why. It's like either injury to eye or one of those kind of reasons. So yeah, so just a really great comic. So that's a 2-5. Then we get into the 3-0. 3-0 is much better. So we get 3-0, which is my junior. This is a nice Al Felstein cover. And it's like a headlight cover. This is kind of nice. And this is from 1948. And it also features lingerie panels. So it's got a whole bunch of things going for it. And you got a nice girl on the back. So this is junior number 13 from 1948. And that's in a 3-0. Okay, the next one in a 3-5, which is looking a little bit better. We're getting a little bit better each time. And this is Exciting Comics 66. Just a really great Alex Schomburg cover. And this is from 1949. It's an airbrushed cover as well. And I'll show you the back as well. The back, you can see it's a bit dirty. And that's probably why it got such a low grade. It's got a bit of dirtiness. It's one of those comics that I think this one, if it was cleaned, it could be like a 4. It just has that bit of dirtiness to it. I don't know, like it looks like it was never cleaned. And it could be cleaned and pressed and probably get maybe even a whole jump in grade. The other thing that was wrong with it is kind of interesting. I don't know what they were thinking, but there's like somebody did a hole punch right here, and it goes right through the comic with maybe just through the cover, and just some weird hole punch. So that was kind of strange. So that's a 3-5. And the next one is in a 4-0, and this is Wings Comics, number 91. And it's just a great, I believe this is, Bob Lubbers cover. Just, he's really famous for doing a lot of these kind of women in peril comics covers. So, just a really classic bondage cover. I love these. Like, Wings are fairly affordable if you don't get the ones with women in peril. There's a few in the later issues of Wings that are all women in peril, and those ones are pretty pricey. So this is one of those pricier ones, but they're the best. They have the best covers. I just love the Wings covers. So this is 91, and that's in a 4-0, and that was from 1948. So I'm trying to do mostly Golden Age. There will be some modern in here, but mostly Golden Age. Okay, so this is another one from the Seduction of the Innocent, and this is in a 4-5. And this is Crimes by Women number 3, and it's from 1948. Just another great Seduction of the Innocent one. And it was in for the cover, so it's women, acting badly towards police. And I'll show you the back too. Once you get into the 4-5, you get a fairly good presenting comic. There'll be a little bit more damage along the spine, but sometimes there'll be creases, but usually a 4-5 is a pretty good grade. And that one contains lingerie panels as well. And we get into the 5-0, which is another one of my Seduction and Innocent comics. This is Rula number 22. It's a really sharp comic, actually. It's one of those ones where I think what killed the grade is this one corner. Just kind of a bit rough on the corner. And it looks like it could have been cleaned. The back is a bit dirty. And it's got, as I said, that one corner is a little rough. But overall, just presents really, really well. This is a nice 5-0. So this is a Jack Kamen cover with Rula. And that's from 1949. So we get into a 5-5 now. Another Seduction and Innocent. So when I did this challenge, I just grabbed most of my Seduction and Innocent books because they were handy. I didn't want to take anything off my wall to do this challenge. So that made it a little bit more challenging for me because I had to find books that were not on my wall that met all the different grades. So this is another CBCS. Sorry, I thought there was only one, but there's two. This has white pages, actually. It's Crime Files number 5. And this was also used in the Seduction and Innocent. And I believe it was because there was bloodletting. It was kind of like some weird... I think what it was is like, there's some torture thing going on and like, yeah. And yeah, I think that's what it was. It was the torture thing and bloodletting. So this is 5-5 from 1952. So really, you can see the 5-5 there. Okay, and next one is my 6-0 copy. So this is 6-0 of Women Outlaws. And again, another Seduction and Innocent book. This is from 1948. Also, another cool thing is a lot of these books are from Fox. Fox Publishing or Fox Feature Syndicate were just like, they're really funny because they produce the most outrageous stuff, and they got into the Seduction and Innocent a lot because of it. So this has hanging panels. It has like, the cover is like, kind of the sexy girls on the cover there. And this is from 1948, and it is just a really great comic. I think it's really wonderful. Okay, so that's Women Outlaws, and that was my 6-0. And my 6-5, going into the Silver Age, is Captain America 100. And this is the first Captain America title in the Silver Age. Another thing that's cool about it is it's one of those big premiere issues. So there's like a few of them. Like there's Iron Man and Submariner. There's Iron Man and the Submariner that all had this little sticker. So I think they're kind of cool. I have like a little collection of those on my wall. So there's like 4 of them that all had that. This is from 1968, and it's just a really great 6-5 Captain America 100. Then we get into a 7-0. I was surprised. I didn't really have many 7-0s in my collection, but I did have this one. This is Uncanny X-Men number 130, and this is the first appearance of the Dazzler. Just a really great 70s character, disco era kind of style. This is like from 1980. So yeah, just a really great book. And you got Lego on the back. So that's really quite cool. So yeah, I like that one. I really like the Dazzler. I like these kind of cheesy characters. So I think that's pretty cool. And this is the only gold label that I have. And it's my 7-5. So this is Crown Comics number 3. And it is the first appearance of Buddha. And that's the first black hero in comics. So it's kind of a cool comic for many reasons. And this is from 1945. So it's a fairly old comic. So yeah, I just think that's a really great one. And so that's my 7.5. Then we go into 8.0, and we get into Tim Holt. Tim Holt, number 6. This is the first appearance of Calico Kid. And Calico Kid later becomes the Ghost Rider. So it's kind of important character. This book is highly underrated, and it's one that you can pick up fairly affordably. Even in an 8.0, it wasn't that expensive. So kind of cool. So this is from 1949. And then we got my 8.5 is Amazing Spider-Man 300. And this is a really great Todd McFarlane cover. We got this is from 1988, Amazing Spider-Man number 300. And this is the first appearance of Venom as well. So kind of cool. So that's my 8.5. And some more modern-ish ones. This is from 1983. And this is Thor 337. And this is the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. So kind of a cool comic. And he's on the cover. And he's smashing stuff. Just really great. He's smashing the mighty Thor thing there. I think that's pretty cool. Just a really great cover and a really great character. I really enjoy Beta Ray Bill. So yeah, that's a 9.0. Then we get into the 9.2. So once you get into the 9s, CGC becomes a little bit more picky, and all the grading companies become a little bit more picky. It's just that fine tuning of what that grade actually means. So the difference can be very minor between a 9 and a 9.8. And it's just usually how many spine ticks. Like one spine tick difference could mean a difference between a 9.0 and a 9.2 or 9.4 or whatever. So this one, I don't see any flaws with it, except for one small flaw, and it's in the, okay, I'll show it. This is Amazing Fantasy number 15, not the one that's super expensive, but this is the first appearance of Amadeus Cho, and it's from 2006, and the flaw with it is very slight. It's like this one, I'm not even sure if you can see it. It's like this one corner has a bit of a color break. So that's it. That made it a 9.2. So other than that, the spine is perfect. It's a really pretty copy. Once you get into the 9s, you're going to get that kind of level, right? So this is Amazing Fantasy 15 from 2006. And now we get into higher grades. We get into the 9.4. And I figured I'd bring my Shazam in here. So this is Shazam number 1 from 1973. And it's in a 9.4. And this is the first Bronze Age, I guess, appearance of Shazam. And it was the first time that Shazam actually appeared in DC Comics. And it's the first time that he appeared for almost 20 to 30 years. It was like a really long hiatus that he took from when he appeared in the Golden Age to when he reappeared in the Bronze Age. It was actually 20 years, because it was like end of the beginning of the 50s that he stopped in Fawcett, and then he returned in 1973. So this is Shazam number 1, and it's also the first kind of where you get kind of Shazam and Superman on the same cover. And that's actually kind of very symbolic, because there was a lawsuit between DC and Shazam. So they basically were suggesting that Shazam was a complete ripoff of Superman, and they were probably right. So if you look at early Shazams, they look very similar. Yeah, so there was a big lawsuit, and this is kind of like interesting that they have that kind of crossover. And here's the back. It's very white, nice back. So very pretty comic at a 9.4. Then we get into a 9.6, and this is one of my favorite covers. I love this cover. This is just a beautiful, I believe it's Adam Hughes, and it's Catwoman 51 from 2006. It's just a really great cover. This is one of my favorite, as I said, one of my favorite Catwoman covers. I just think it's just really sexy and just really well done. Just very beautiful. So that's a 9.6. Then we get into a 9.8. And this one actually was interesting. I bought this raw and then got it graded. So I was quite happy when I got the 9.8. So that's why I put this in the list. So I actually had it pressed. And the guy said, oh, when I bought it, he said, oh, it's definitely a 9.8, definitely a 9.8. And he got it pressed for me and got it graded for me and then sent it off later. It took several months for me to get this, though. I was like, oh, is he going to really send it? I didn't know what was going to happen. So this is Spawn 174, the first appearance of the Gunslinger from 2008. I really like this cover too. It's just a really cool cover. And it's a Capello cover, not Todd McFarlane. Greg Capullo, maybe? I'm mispronouncing his name. So Capullo cover. So yeah. Okay, so that's 9.8, which is most people think of as being the highest grade, but there's actually 2 grades above a 9.8. There's a 9.9, which does exist, and actually there's a 9.5 that exists, which is 1 grade below, 2 grades below. The 9.5 is a special one where they actually only did it for one particular comic. And it was just for some special event. But there is a 9.9, which I don't have. I don't have any 9.9s in my collection. And that's sort of like a really, really almost flawless kind of comic. But there is a 10.0. A 10.0 is when a comic is 100, like just basically printed in a slab almost. They just almost immediately put it into a slab. And I actually have something slightly better than that. This is a 10.0, but this is a 10.0. This is a bit of a naughty cover. This is Dan Mendoza's variant cover. And it's a Brian Pulido did the signed it. And it's it's a signature copy. So this is my 10.0, and it's Lady Death, drawn by Dan Mendoza, and it's just a really great comic. There's only 200 of these, and not many of them are in the 10.0. So it is just a really rare comic. This is the highest in its grade, obviously, since it's a 10.0. But the fact that it's a 10.0 with a signature is insanely difficult to get, because usually whenever somebody signs a comic, it will bump it down a grade, just because it's really hard to sign a comic without damaging the comic. So the fact that it's a 10.0 and a signed copy is just really great. So just a really sexy comic. This might kind of kill my PG rating, but she is clothed. It's see-through, but it is clothed. This is Lady Death, Malevolent Decimation #1. So just a really great cover. I really like it. And it even comes with Brian Pulido, like a certificate of authenticity. So he signed it and he got it graded. So, it was kind of coming from him. He did like a thing with PGX. So that is my own, like I have 2 10.0s in my collection, and both of them are naughty. Both of them are these kind of like sexy covers. So the other one was a little harder to show because it required a little bit more censoring. So I hope you enjoyed this. This was my my graded comics from all the different grades. I hope you could see like the progression in grades and the quality that really comes out. Um, I'd like to put out a challenge to other comic channels to do the same. I'd love to see their graded comics from whatever the lowest grade is to their highest grade. And I'd like to put it out to my good friend Mark Allred. We do the price variance show together, so I'm hoping he'll take up the challenge. I recommend anyone else that watches this video to put out a video with the graded challenge. I'm actually going to use a hashtag. I didn't see this on the other video challenge videos, but I'm going to use a hashtag on mine for graded challenge. Okay, so that'll be the hashtag that I'll use. And if you want to participate in this challenge, you can use that hashtag and then we can all see what you have. So I hope people take up this challenge, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I want to give another final shout out to Black Box Silver and Bronze, because it was his idea that I do this. So thank you again. And I recommend you check out his channel. He's got some really great stuff. So thanks again. Bye for now.